Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is episode 2 of the podcast. And, this podcast is for basically anybody who wants kind of a streamlined education strategy on how to leave the rat race, become an entrepreneur, become financially wealthy, and therefore have a better life. Because I see so many people who don't know any of this information and they go out their whole entire life not understanding anything about making money. So if you like this podcast, make sure to click like, comment, maybe a question that you have. I really want to start a Q&A. It'd be great. But today we're talking about college because, everybody thinks college is just so amazing. Everybody thinks college is their way out, their ticket out, something that can make them so financially free, like they won't have to worry about money in the future or something because they have a specialized skill. Well, specialized skills have nothing to do with making money and getting rich. It's diversification of intelligence that does. But people like security, and that's great. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about why I think college is an absolute scam. And if you want to hear it, that's good. If you don't want to hear it, you can dislike the video, you can comment, fucking hate your guts, Brent, and then you can leave and go out with your life. And hopefully it's not bad. But yeah, our first thing we're going to talk about is why people go to college. Now, one reason is because society's view on college is so high that and most kids don't know what they want to do, right? So when society says, hey, listen, if you go to college, you're going to be smarter than anybody else. You're going to have some skill that pays you a really good wage. When in reality, it might not. You have to definitely know your major in order to get some money, some more money in. But definitely, society's view on college has nothing to do with your life. And also, neither does your parents' ego. Parents have this ego where they want their kid to succeed like they have. Basically, like they want their kid to go to college like they did. Or if their parents didn't go to college, they want their kid to finally go to college. Maybe like first in their family or something like that. And parents will say, well, the reason why I have issues is because I didn't go to college, and if my kid goes to college, then they won't have any issues. Well, no, the problem is that the source of their issue isn't that they didn't go to college, it's because they're not financially literate. It's an entirely different problem. Also, it's not their life. It's not their life to live. You are your own person, and you can do whatever you want when you become 18. As long as you're not under their roof, which you do not have to be. Just try to get away from your parents as soon as possible if they do pull some stupid shit like that all the time. You can still love them, but try to get away from them if they're causing you some sort of trouble like this. They're basically making you go into debt. And even if they're paying for college, don't even do that either. If you don't know what you want to do, don't do it. Most people think it's a good idea because they weren't told otherwise, is another thing, another issue. And imagine this. Everybody's like, listen, college is so great. I went to college and like, look at me, I'm good, right? Well, you got to understand that most people also struggle financially their entire life. They don't get richer, they all just get poorer because they do stupid shit with their money. And college is not going to teach you anything about money. There's absolutely no coincidence between these two things. Most people think it's a good idea to go to college, and most people struggle financially their whole life. So obviously, college is not the answer. So our second segment is why college is not worth it in any stretch of the imagination. The first issue I have with college is that they don't pay any taxes. No income tax, no tax on all the bookstores they have and the cafeteria. They don't pay taxes towards the government in any way, shape, or form. So basically, everything is profit. I mean, they do have to pay teachers and landscapers, but in the end, they get to keep most of the money that they make in college. The higher-ups is what I'm talking about. Another big issue is that the costs for college, the tuition cost, has risen 200% in like the last 30 years, which is bullshit too, because teachers get paid exactly the same as they did 30 years ago. So people who own these colleges are getting greedy and they're just taking more money from people because, again, college is a scam. One of the biggest issues I find with college, which is the next one, is that for some reason we have to take core classes still, which doesn't make any sense. My career is in, let's say I want to become a real estate agent. I want to be a stockbroker. I don't even think you need to go to college for either of those, but yeah, any job you want to get, you will have to go through core classes again. And the worst part is now you have to pay thousands of dollars in order to take these core classes. You have to learn fucking English again, and math, and history, and science. Now, it's not every single case where you have to do this, but you still may have to take some sort of core class, which doesn't make any sense. And all it does is leave you with less money or more debt in your pocket at the end of the day. Another issue is that there are many high-paying jobs that don't even require any sort of degree. They require hard work, and that's basically it. Just off the top of my head, we have salesmen, which get most of their money through commissions. Basically, you are in control and depend on how you are able to sell things to people. This could be real estate agents, people who sell cars, and many types of other things. Just basically anybody who knocks door to door, gets on phone calls, creates ads, do anything to make money for their company. You also have business owners. Another thing, people don't care if you have a degree or not, as long as you are smart enough to understand the business side of the things, then you will not only have a better case study and portfolio, but also you will have a growing business, and you will probably make a lot more money doing that than anything that you have done in college. And the best part is you don't have to go to debt for it. Self-employed, another thing where basically your mind and the amount of work you put in get you more money in the end. And lastly, which is incredibly important, entrepreneurs. That's exactly what we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are entrepreneurs, okay? We decide our own fate. We don't let a job decide our own fate for us. And that's the best part. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, being an investor, the best part is that there is absolutely no cap on how much money you can obtain and how much fame you can obtain through doing this. That's why most people who are incredibly rich, incredibly famous, the reason they got there is because they took a risk, and college is just not a risk thing. College is not good for people like entrepreneurs. They fail us. We don't fail them. They fail us because they want people who are employees. We're not employees. We decide our fate. They don't decide our fate for us, and that's the big issue with college. And finally, we are going to talk about if you want to go to college, which you can learn skills in college, but you can definitely learn skills outside of college. But if you think college is a good idea for what you are doing in order to get a better skill or make some more extra money, the best part is that I even have something for you. So how can you be smart about going to college? The first thing is you have to understand exactly what you want to do. Most people who go through school, they don't really know exactly what they want to do. And so the issue is that they're spending a lot of money that they don't even have in order to pay for a degree in a job that they might not even want or even care about. The famous one is a liberal arts degree, where it's basically just general education to the colleges, which doesn't mean you're going to get a good job in the future. Most people think it does, but in reality it doesn't. The next part is that you need to know if your career outlook is strong. Most people will get a degree in something that doesn't make any sense and has no good outlook. So they end up going back to school to get maybe a higher education, such as a master's and a doctorate, to find out that companies don't care. Maybe it's not you, but the shitty major that you chose that doesn't let you get a good job today. So make sure your career outlook is strong. I'd suggest coding. Coding is an incredibly great skill that, in my opinion, requires at least someone to be around to teach you about it, because it's definitely just using numbers and using variables all day. It's really intense shit. But once you know how it works, you can find a really good high-paying job that's around almost $100,000 a year, and then also use that skill to create apps and programs and video games and applications that can make you a lot more money. So I think Coding is a good idea because more companies need coders to create applications for them. And the best part is you can have a business, you can be self-employed, and you can work for a company probably all at the same time. So if you're going to college and you're thinking about it, I think coding would be a good idea. If you like it, you should like the major you're getting. So realize that your career outlook is strong. Another thing which might not be so great is you have to try to stay in state. Now I understand that if you live in California, this might be easy, but if you live somewhere like I do in Hawaii, this is a terrible fucking idea. Trying to stay in state is bad, but you'll spend a lot less, and if you're in the right place, you might find incredibly great colleges to go to. Next, you got to make sure that the cost of tuition is at least lower than the median yearly salary of the job you're going into. So let's say the median yearly salary for a coder is around $97,000, right? And the tuition is $90,000 all throughout, right? All throughout. That is okay because it'll take you a lot less time to give all of that money back to the college or your bank if you have a student loan. But that's also another thing about being financially literate. You have to be financially literate to do that, You don't want to keep going into more debt. And lastly, I would say that you have to make sure you have most of the money. If you don't have any money, don't go to college. And listen, people need to understand this. Time will always go by. And you don't have to go to college next year. You don't have to go to college in 10 years. It really doesn't matter, okay? If you want to succeed, you can still learn things now and start later. There is always later. People think that you have to go to college at this fucking instant, but you don't. And you might find something way better. And it probably won't get you into any debt for doing it. You might find an apprenticeship or so and just learn that. But at the end of the day, college is definitely not the answer for me. I would say it's not the answer for people listening to this podcast, because I have stuff down the rabbit hole that would be amazing for anybody to hear, and this is all free to you. Probably gonna make some money off of this if I put ads on it, and that's definitely what I want to do. Is I want to make this one of my income sources. So the next episode might be something towards financial literacy. If you have any comment about college, anything even in detail, right? You want to talk about, hey, I want to go to college. What do you think I should do? I love numbers. I love finance. I love learning more about this stuff. So if you want to know more things, I've been doing this for almost a year now, just trying to learn more things about making more money and becoming more financially literate, creating more wealth, and becoming a millionaire. So any comment that you'd like to, any question you'd like to put down there, I'll definitely answer it for you, and I'd probably put it on a Q&A podcast. I want to do that, weekly in between these podcasts as well. So if you want that, then that's great. So anyway, thank you very much for watching or listening. If you like it, please like. If you want to comment anything, please comment. And this is a really good podcast, and I think I'm going to keep making more. I don't even know if I want to do it weekly or so, but whatever. Thank you all very much for listening, and goodbye.